Today is Uncle Shigeru's birthday. Aunt Tako asked Natsume to buy 3 pieces of strawberry cake on the way back from school. Nyanko-sensei requested 4 pieces. When they arrived at the cake shop recommended by Sasada, Natsume hesitated because the storefront was too feminine. However, the thought of bringing back delicious cakes gave Natsume the courage to go inside. Suddenly, a man named Shibata appeared and started talking to Natsume. Shibata was amazed that Natsume could make friends. This rude comment that angered Kitamoto and Nishimura. It turns out that Shibata was Natsume's elementary school classmate, and he wanted to speak with Natsume alone. Later, Shibata used Natsume's past as a threat to get a private conversation with him. Shibata mentioned how Natsume used to claim he could see things others couldn't, and Natsume was uncomfortable and tried to deny it. This abnormal reaction made Shibata more certain of something. He then took Natsume on a train and arrived at a remote park. When they saw a high school girl named Murasaki, Shibata urgently asked Natsume to confirm if she was human. Natsume found it amusing and laughed, thinking she was just an ordinary girl. The girl approached them, and Shibata quickly explained that Natsume was his friend. They spent some time together, and it seemed like Shibata really liked the girl. Shibata thanked Natsume, but then Natsume realized he hadn't bought the cake yet. Since it was late, many cake shops were closed. But with Shibata's help, they managed to find some good cakes. Nyanko-sensei was very satisfied, and he asked Natsume where he had been today because he could smell the presence of Youkai on him. This made Natsume suddenly feel uneasy. Natsume returned to the park with Nyanko-sensei and stumbled upon Murasaki eating raw fish. Nyanko-sensei intervened to rescue Natsume, and Murasaki threatened him not to reveal her true identity and disappearing. Natsume found Shibata and brought up the topic of Murasaki. Shibata couldn't help but smile when her name was mentioned. He explained that he had first met Murasaki in the park and had encountered her there frequently, but she never revealed her school or address. Natsume wanted to say something when Shibata suddenly mentioned that Murasaki's hands were extremely cold and asked him a strange question about what he would do if she were a Youkai. This made Shibata uneasy, and that's why he thought of Natsume for help. Natsume then told Shibata the truth about Murasaki. Shibata's attitude suddenly changed, and he ran off. Nyanko-sensei informed Natsume that it would take 3 more days for that Youkai to transform back into human form. Natsume went to look for Shibata again, but he was avoiding him. Natsume returned to the park to find Murasaki and urged her to stop bothering Shibata because he had already told him the truth. Murasaki knew that Shibata wouldn't believe Natsume's words. When Natsume found them grappling with each other, Nyanko-sensei revealed his true form, intending to eat Murasaki. Natsume intervened because he knew that Shibata was very fond of her. Murasaki escaped again, and Natsume hurried after her. Nyanko-sensei could see that her strength was waning, and her time was running out. They found the weakened Murasaki and her true form. Despite having achieved human form, Murasaki had been weak for a long time. She had met Shibata during this time. However, she was too weak to consume him, so she asked him to come back in 3 days. Shibata did return as promised. From that day on, Shibata came back many times, but Murasaki never had the opportunity to consume him. In fact, he had come yesterday as well, but the weakened Murasaki could only extend one hand. Shibata invited Murasaki for a walk, but she declined, claiming to be feeling unwell. She knew that Shibata had already discovered her true identity. Natsume found Shibata in the park and handed him Murasaki's letter. After reading the letter, Shibata asked Natsume to take him to see Murasaki. They met Murasaki, who was fading away. They went for a walk under the setting sun, just like they used to, and Murasaki began to gradually disappear. In the end, only Shibata remained under the fading sun. Shibata thanked Natsume once more and asked him not to tell anyone that he had cried. Natsume and Shibata became true friends.